Hope you all had a wonderful weekend. Thank you for joining me. I will be bringing you a movie of the week after this live stream. This is a two-part live pertaining to Sean Puffy Combs and Offset and Cardi B. Let's start with Mia, who used to work for Sean as an assistant. We're having a lot of issues with this testimony. Basically, the defense is trying to discredit her, making her out to be not truthful. They asked her if she was telling the truth. She said yes. This woman is claiming sexual assault many times working for Sean Puffy Combs. She also says she witnessed him physically abusing Cassie Ventura. They're going back to her posts pertaining to things she was saying on social media about him, sending notes and collages for his birthday, wishing him a happy birthday, her even going far back as a year ago, wanting to still work for him. She feels like she was under a spell, hypnotized, brainwashed by him, still wanting to be in his favor, to do, right by him. It's all crazy to me. And some people may not believe her testimony. And I also think the jury's bored with the defense hounding her as they did, because I heard that they were yawning during the defense's badgering of the witness. Do you believe Mia's testimony? Do you believe she's just riding the bandwagon to be seen, to be heard? Because people are going to find it strange that just in 2024, you were trying to get a job with this man when he's allegedly sexually assaulted you more than once, which makes no sense. Why would you go back to work for someone who has sexually assaulted you, berated you, threatened you? It's all crazy. And that's the latest coming from New York City pertaining to this Mia. Who's next up on the chopping block of testimonies will be a Mr. Garcia. He was working at the hotel. My understanding is that he has gained immunity. And what I'm trying to understand is, why would he have immunity from testifying? Is it because he looked at the tapes, saw that Cassie was abused, and didn't alert authorities? Because that's the only reason I could think the state would grant him immunity. It's that he saw the tape of her being beat up. He didn't do anything. He didn't alert authorities. That's one thing I can come up with. Also, a maid, a woman who was a maid at the time, housekeeper, she will be giving her testimony. Now, what she's going to tell us, I don't know. But the one thing I'm going to say to the fans and anyone listening to this commentary, I am utterly bored with this trial. This is no disrespect to the people testifying or the state. I'm just bored with it altogether. I'm just tired of all the commentary. I'm tired of hearing Sean Puffy Combs' voice, mouth, anything about him. Well, we haven't heard his voice, but you understand what I'm saying. I'm just sick of hearing things about him. Also, that was also strange that they mentioned she had a dream about him and R. Kelly, that she was in an elevator with R. Kelly and Puffy saved her. Now, I don't know if she's making this up or this is true. Maybe she has some sick fascination with him. Has or had. I don't know. Because I don't really know what we're dealing with here with this Mia character. Okay? But some are going to find it strange. As I said, that just a year ago, she was trying to get work with him. They asked her all type of crazy questions about her line of work, where she worked, where she went to school. She speaks 4 languages, blah, 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 blah. I think that's why the jury is getting bored with all these damn questions, probably thinking, where's this going? Where are you taking us? Where are you trying to take us? They're trying to show you that her testimony isn't believable in their eyes, because she's still coinciding, still working for him, still wishing him well, still sending him messages, still sending him this and that, emails, phone calls, and that's not something a normal person would do. As one lawyer was speaking earlier on commentary, when you think of being sexually assaulted, you think of, this is bad. I got to get out of this job. Or I'm working for this person. I don't like it here. I need the job, but I don't like it here. This person's mistreating me. I got to get the hell out of here. So we learned early on, day 1, day 2, whatever, he was not treating her well. So this guy has a great point. Why would you continue working for him? And then early on, I think they're saying 4 months in, perhaps, he sexually assaulted you. So this really makes no sense. This is totally different than even going to work for him, as we heard with the Miss Clark lady working. You know, she was in cahoots with Suge Knight and his entourage, or friends with them. However that goes, that don't really make no sense either. Shortly after working for him, like I think day one, he's already threatening you and asking why you're there. Basically, are you coming to snuff him out, sniff him out? I don't know. Then you got this lady who's being sexually assaulted allegedly. And yet you're still working for him. You're still trying to please him. You're still trying to be under him. And then like they said, this lawyer said, we're not talking about 5-6 years ago. We're not talking about 2018. You started working for him way long time ago. So when you count 2004, so up until 2024, that's a long time to still be trying to be in someone's favor, grasp, and they sexually assaulted you. So I don't know. I don't know what to say. Is this lady being truthful? Let me tell you what a lot of people are going to think. Even if they think some of the information that she has testified to might be fudged a bit, exaggerated, you're entitled to your opinion. They're going to think, why would we not believe her? Because everybody who's testified has something negative to say pertaining to Sean Puffy Combs. He's allegedly broke into someone's house, blown up somebody's car, a piece of it anyway, the top of a Porsche belonging to Kid Cudi, beating up this woman, Cassie. She goes back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. She's claiming the same mesmerized, brainwashed theory. Of course, a lot of people thinking, well, you still went along, even though he was beating you up, which was wrong, but you still went along for the prostitution and all of that. Some believe they have not proven their case. Some people believe they're working on it to state. Let me know what you think. I'll put that up as a poll as well. Do you think the state is building their case pertaining to racketeering? But the prostitution has been proven, because that's against the law. You cannot pay people for sex. That's the law. So there's no such thing as, oh, what's wrong with him flying his friends around? These weren't his friends. These are strange men that you and your girlfriend at the time solicited for sex. The law says that's against the law. It's cut dry. Even if Sean is only found guilty on one of the charges, okay? Let's just say one. He's facing at least 15 years to life. So when you count a person that's already 55, well, you can add 55 plus 15. That's still not including the recent charges from the hotel when he allegedly turned himself over, was waiting to be, turned over to the jail. There were drugs in his hotel. So see, that's separate. Then you got to go back months before when his houses were raided and they found drugs and guns. So that's still something else. So either way, he's not going to be walking out. And it doesn't matter even if Mr. Trump decides he wants to pardon Mr. Combs. You still got all these other things that you got entangled with last year. Drugs, guns. That's separate from my understanding. What happened in New York when he got arrested? That's not even what's on the charges right now. So he's not going to get out of that. So just as quick as let's just say he's found guilty, he goes to prison. Then Trump says, oh, I'm going to pardon him. He still has these other charges. And if they're state charges, I don't know if they're state or not. Let's say he can't get out of that, and Mr. Trump can't pardon you for those. And he can't pardon you if you walk free 4 weeks from now and you still got other charges. You won't get a bond. So you'll be right back where you are now. So I don't think a lot of people are focusing on that, and I think it's interesting nobody's talking about that. As far as if he goes free, if he gets a pardon, he still has other charges from last fall when he got arrested in New York City and the ones from the house being raided. That's two separate states. Florida, New York. So then you'd have to go to Florida for the drug and gun charges. So he ain't out no water, whether he is found not guilty or guilty as far as this case here. And nobody's talking about that, which I find it interesting. Nobody's even talking about that. What's next? As I said, I'm bored with this case. I'm tired of talking about Sean Puffy Combs. I'm tired of hearing the same repeat. Even when you go into articles, they always rehash why we're here. And it always starts with, he physically abused Cassie Ventura. There's a tape. They always start the articles off with that. So you got to read through that whole bio to get to the latest information, which is like, today's information. You got to read all of that to get to what the hell happened in court today. Some people think he's going to walk. Some think he's not. But as they're saying, it really doesn't matter. If he's found guilty on one of the charges, that's at least 15 years. And he is not a spring chicken. He's not 20. He's not 30. He's 55, 54, 55 years of age. So you add 15 onto that. Plus, as I said, the other charges. And it won't matter if Trump pardons him. He's still facing other charges in an entirely different state, which is Florida. Offset. I saw this little article. I didn't even really have to go into it because sometimes I don't feel like it. But I'm going to read off the title and we're going to leave it there. Offset, what the hell is wrong with you? You cheated on your wife probably from the moment you met her when she wasn't your wife. You've made children with her, still probably cheating on your wife. And now that you two are divorced and she's moved on and dating a little football player, which is her business because she's not legally married to you, what gives you the audacity to ask this woman for money? I wouldn't pay him a dime. And quite frankly, I don't know why Cardi B didn't have a prenup, because she should have known better. And any woman, man, I say this to anybody, a woman or a man, you are very wealthy. You are very well off. Whether you make $200,000, you make $2 million, you make $20 million, $200 million. Get a prenup. Because you cannot assume that the person that you are dating is there for you and you alone. Now you're talking about marrying this person, or they're asking you to marry them. You cannot believe they are there for you and you alone. I don't know when Cardi B found out this thing was putting his wee-wee in other people's little velvet boxes, but at some point she found out her man was doing what he was doing, okay? He's out here spreading his little wee-wee around town and all over the United States. And perhaps she kept having children to, keep him. Well, if I have a kid with him, he'll stop. Oh, if I have another kid, he'll stop. He'll look at his children and say, oh, don't do that. Don't do that to the mother. Men don't care. They will cheat on you with or without children. They will cheat on you if you cook, you clean. You keep a clean house. You actually cook real food on top of the stove. You are supportive. You're nurturing. If the man has a sex problem, which many do, it does not matter who you are, how you look, what you're doing, what you're not doing. He will do what he wants to do, which is go out here and sleep with everything that walks. That's Offset. He's like a lot of men. And I won't doubt that even as he gets older, he still will have a problem being monogamous, because there's just too much temptation out here. And everybody's posing and prancing around on IG and, walking the red carpet and bumping their elbows at functions and parties and bars. They just become fascinated with everything and just don't care. And now with social media, as I just said, this is why the men can't be monogamous, because they're looking at all these women. They're getting in their inboxes, trying to talk to them. Hey, how you doing? You look nice, blah, blah, blah. Hey, what's up? Hey, you want to do something? He's stupid enough to fall for it. Whether famous or not, here you go. Here you go. And somebody say, well, don't blame social media. A dog's a dog. Well, my thing is, you have more incentive with social media, because you don't even have to go out and look for a woman or a man. You could just scroll people's profiles, send them a message, see if they respond. And I'm sure he gets a lot of women in his little IG inbox. I'm sure he puts in some bids in their inboxes. He's bumping elbows with them out in public at functions and so on and so forth. it's really sad because they have children together. And every day she looks at her children, she's looking at Mr. Offset. Do you understand what I'm saying? And I think early on in her relationship with him, she knew he was a dog. And that's probably before she had children. And I believe I read a comment not even a month or two ago that probably 2 or so months ago, she had made a comment saying he's been messing around since the beginning. So when I think of beginning, I think of before marriage. Before marriage. And if it happened while we're married and I haven't had no kids, then I need to go get my lawyer and break this marriage on down. All the way down. This is what I can't stand about wealthy women. And we've seen this with Cherie, who was on The View. She married that guy. Next thing you know, they're going through their marital problems. And I can tell that something was going on with her because I was watching The View at the time and her attitude seemed different. So she finally came out and told the world what was going on. And then also they had used a surrogate to have a kid. So basically it was his semen and another woman's egg. So it ain't nothing belonging to her except for her love for a kid. So now you're getting a divorce and then fighting over a baby that ain't even your baby. You got to know who you're sleeping with. And in the end, you will never know because you don't know this right here. And you don't know this right here. And more than likely, the person doesn't have this. They don't have a heart. They're working with the private part. They're trying to see what they can get. And my thing is, if you knew you didn't want to be monogamous, whether you're a man or a woman, you shouldn't be out here dating people, and you shouldn't be living with people, and you shouldn't be most definitely marrying people. You want to whore around and pick up everything strange in the street, knock yourself out. But you should not be a husband, a boyfriend, a father. Offset has 3 kids with her. That's all he's got to show from being with her. 3 beautiful kids. And now he has the nerve to ask this woman for alimony. You don't deserve a fucking dime. As we say in the street, get it how you live. You've been out here making music. Well, brother, you need to go back in the studio and match your coins with your talent. Because you weren't depending on Cardi B beforehand. I doubt you were depending on her even when you were dating her. Now, how y'all divvied up everything while married? I don't know. She obviously has more money. That's why he's asking for alimony. I don't know what state they married in, if it was New York or Georgia. Don't know the laws in either state. But all I can say, sister, why didn't you have a prenup? You should have had a prenup. I don't trust nobody with no lump sum of money. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And you have a lot of money. I don't know what you're worth, but I know you're probably worth more than $1 million. And you should have told yourself, I am not about to let nobody railroad me and try to get my coins a couple of years after marriage and take me for every damn thing I didn't work for. Because that's exactly what he's doing to you. And this should show you that you stayed too long with him. He probably was going to do it no matter when you decided to leave him or he left you. He was going to do this anyway. This shows you he's a bum. But it's a lesson learned. You don't know people. And that if you saw signs early on, let me make this clear, early on before having any children with him, you should have left his ass. Because he wouldn't have been entitled to no money with just, you being married a year or two. You probably, you could possibly fight it. But then certain states like California, that's community state, he's still entitled to some money. And that's why people need to understand the law. That's why they tell you when you marry people, you need to know the law of your state. You need to know what that person is entitled to as soon as you say, I do. And that's my commentary pertaining to Offset and Cardi B. I frankly would fight it as long as I could. I'd hold him out. I'd hold him out. And I definitely would be putting up stuff in Swiss bank accounts and here, there, the Bahamas, Turks and Caicos. I'd have money tucked over here under the mattress. Y'all heard what I said. And if it goes to court, Ma'am, what are you working on now? I ain't working on nothing. I'm a mother. I'm at home nursing my damn baby. That's what I'm doing. That's what I tell the judge. You're not making any videos? No. You doing any movies? No. I'm at home with my children. The ones I made with this bum right here. That's what I be telling the judge. Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining me. So, you know, that is what it is. I'm going to check out of here, but I thank you for your time. God bless all of you. Have a wonderful week. I will be putting up some shorts, movie of the week, and also some posts pertaining to breaking news. Once again, Mr. Trump has pardoned rapper YoungBoy NBA. He was facing guns and identity fraud dealing with opiates. They were forging documents for pills, fake identities to get pills from a pharmacy. Some serious heavy charges he had acquired out on the Pacific Northwest where he was living, and gun charges, guns plural. He's done with that now. Mr. Trump has pardoned him. So many people are talking about Sean Puffy Combs. Will he get pardoned? Like I said, Sean has a lot of other irons in the fire, other charges that aren't even in the state of New York, which is when his house got raided in Florida. I don't believe that's a part of the charges. And then he got arrested in New York after he had already been indicted. So that wouldn't be a part of the charges, I don't think. He ain't going nowhere. So if he's found not guilty, guilty in 4 weeks, 3 weeks, he ain't going nowhere. Because he just got arrested last fall when he moved to New York because he had to turn himself over to the feds for this trial. So only a fool would go to New York knowing they're getting ready to go to trial and have drugs in their hotel room. This goes to show you Sean is never going to change. He's a drug addict. 9 times out of 10, he's also an alcoholic. He has a sex addiction. I also believe he is a pedophile. He's got big boy problems. And he need to take it to Jesus because that's the only person that can work out the SHIT he got going on. And I'm just saying, he's got some serious stuff going on. And he's got problems that man can't do anything with. Man or woman can't help Sean Puffy Combs. He's past help. When he became this deviant, I don't know. But there's nothing man or woman can do with him. He needs to get on his knees and pray to God, Allah, whomever, ask for forgiveness. He needs to go to everybody and apologize for whatever he's done to them. He needs to pay the piper. And that's what I think. But I don't think he has any remorse for anything he's done. I don't. Some people think he might take a plea. I don't see him taking a plea. I think he's a narcissist. And a narcissist is not about to take a plea because in his mind he thinks, oh, these people, they'll let me off. They ain't worked out nothing. I got people coming back feeding me information. It's looking bad. Don't nobody believe some of these folks, especially this Mia chick. And then somebody's out there watching all of this. I forgot to mention this. Sorry, but I did forget to mention this. Somebody scooped up a video from where she was in it and forwarded to the defense, I guess to try to, discredit her claim of being traumatized and mesmerized and brainwashed by Sean, showing her in a happy situation with Sean Puffy Combs. Well, a lot of people were in alleged happy situations with Sean, and then they also were getting beat up, blackmailed, all type of stuff. Cassie's a prime example. One day they're up, next day he's beating her up, he's dragging her, pulling her hair out. So a few people have that same claim. Today he likes you, tomorrow he doesn't. And sadly, these people hung on for dear life. Why? I don't know, but they did. But yes, the defense is trying to discredit her testimony that you're talking about 20 years. And why you still wanting to hang around Sean, why you still wanting to work for him. And I will admit that the defense has a damn good point because this ain't adding up. I'm not saying he didn't do these things to her as far as sexual assault her more than once, berate her, mistreat her, threaten her, told her he's going to kill her, all that. The point is, why do you want to still continue dealing with him as of 2024? That is just a year ago. That looks bad. That's my commentary. Like, share, subscribe, drop your comments below this video. Follow me on the Newsbreak app. And if you'd like to donate to this great network, $McGangie 129 Cash App. Stickers and chats are always welcome during the live stream. Thank you for your time. Y'all have a wonderful, wonderful week. I'll talk to you guys later. Woo! Mr. Trump has been very busy. He's gotten the Chrisleys out of prison, rapper Young Boy NBA, the ex-sheriff out of Virginia, and some other woman by the name of Miss Fiore. I don't know who she is, don't really care. All I know is going to prison, ain't going to prison no more. You can do anything so long as you're a Republican, and then find somebody to knock on Mr. Trump's door and say, hey, free me, free me. I'm a supporter. It's sad because these people have done wrong, and they are no better than anybody else out here. Whether they're Republican, Democrat, Independent, don't vote, you have to pay the piper. That's what justice is for. That's what the law is for. And the president really should not be giving all these passes out to people who have committed fraud, bribery, theft. But the one thing I've learned, what goes around comes around. And I got a feeling that some of these people, they're going to have some problems trying to navigate, because in the end, it is your image that you still have to carry around. And Trump ain't nowhere around for that. You on your damn own. Talk to you guys later. Bye.